Hello, everyone. Welcome to the conversation. I'm CP.
And I'm Jayleen. And today is November 22nd, and we are here to discuss our American perspectives with all of you guys today.
Feel free to join in our conversation. Comment, like, subscribe to our channel, and we hope to bring you some interesting content and current events and talk about how that affects our daily lives.
And speaking of our daily lives, Thanksgiving is just around the corner. So we would like to start off with discussing our upcoming holiday plans with all of you.
So, I was thinking about growing up, you know, I grew up in the middle of the United States, and I had a mother who was from a farm and a father from the city. And both of them came together to bring their Thanksgiving traditions um, into my life. And, a lot of that was the traditional, turkey, dinner, grandma coming to visit. um, got my first taste of wine at Thanksgiving. Um, but there's so much more to the holiday, the Thanksgiving holiday. Every year, I try to reflect on what I am thankful for, and um, also there's a little bit of sorrow wrapped up in that too, because um, of thinking about the history of the holiday. And if we look out across the 250 years that the United States has been populated, and even further back than that, to the very first Thanksgiving, we know that there is a group of people, there are a couple of groups of people who were seriously um, abused and mistreated by the Europeans who came to settle this land. And the Europeans feeling that they had some type of manifest destiny to come and settle this land and take it away from the people who already lived here. And they brought with them um, people who didn't want to be here. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too, I think, and also today's environment, this environment that we live in. I think this Thanksgiving is probably going to be different for just about everybody, even if people decide to get together with family. This is just not the same. This year has been so hard for everyone, and it's taken a toll. Many of us are going to have empty seats next to us where we used to have someone there every night at dinner. And so we've lost over 250,000 Americans, and and then that's not counting, all the people who have suffered possibly permanent damage to their bodies because of COVID. And then we also have had an upheaval of violence and anger and um, sorrow of the treatment of Black people in the United States by people in authority. And the Black Lives Matter movement is very much in the forefront of what's happening. And the presidential election is still up in the air. We have been told repeatedly that uh, Biden, Harris are the incoming president and vice president. And yet we have a president, a sitting president, who won't um, concede and say, yep, you guys come on in. We'll work with you to get things switched over. I don't know that this has ever really happened in the history of the United States. I don't think it has. Um, so that's kind of where I'm coming from with everything. I'm just thinking about, I haven't lost anybody close to me in COVID. I've had people close to me get sick, but I haven't lost anyone. So, Julie, what are you thinking?
Well, Thanksgiving for me is definitely different this year. Normally, I would go visit my parents, see my siblings, and then I would also see extended family as well, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends. But this year, due to COVID, things are just different. I'm actually kind of nervous because I'm still going to see my mom and dad and brother and sister, but I'm not going to see any extended family. I'm not going to see any friends. It's just going to be a small gathering of just immediate family. But I'm still nervous. In Iowa, there's been a surge of COVID cases. One in maybe 4 or 1 in 10 people in Iowa have COVID. And so that's kind of nerve wracking in itself. So my plan is just to spend quality time with immediate family for 1, 2 days and head straight back home. I don't plan on doing any shopping, hanging out in public places. I'm just there for one reason.
So, do you think that you and your family, do you think you'll wear masks when you're together?
That's a good question. Honest, I don't think so because I'm going to be over at my sister's house. She's not going to wear a mask all day. I'm going to be there for 1 or 2 nights, maybe one night. She's not going to wear a mask in her own home for 2 nights in a row all day.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with my mother and my dad. They're not going to be wearing their mask inside all day around just the immediate family. If they're around other people, I'm pretty sure they would, but if it's just me, their daughter, I don't think they would wear the mask all day for several days.
I wonder, like I had a cousin, and my family's really small. And so my cousins are super important to me because I don't have any brothers or sisters. And my parents are gone. And, um, you know, I have one child, I have a husband, but very small family. So my cousin was in town and I was like, I couldn't see him because I have an autoimmune illness and I can't go out and no one can come in. And so we talked about it and talked about even that he could quarantine himself for 2 weeks and then come and spend time with us. And ultimately, it was just too much. It was too much to ask. And I can understand why you would have a little bit of anxiety about going. So, why do you feel like it's important to go?
Because this may be one of the last Thanksgivings I have to spend time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know this yet, but I will be relocating shortly here, far away from where my parents reside. And so I don't know when I'm going to spend another Thanksgiving. So I just want to really cherish this time that I have with them.
Mm-hmm.
I only live, right now, I only live an hour and 45 minutes, maybe like an hour and a half away, less than 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
not close. So I really want to spend quality time with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, has everyone who's going to be together, has everyone in the last couple of weeks been really careful not to be going out and not?
I know my parents for sure. My dad, he doesn't go many places, just work and home. He always wears his mask. Same thing with my mom. She's an advocate of mask wearing, so she's very careful. My brother, sister, I think they're a little bit more lenient when it comes to wearing their mask. So I do need to speak with them and tell them, hey, I'm coming. Well, they know that I'm coming home or coming over there for Thanksgiving, but I just need to reiterate that, hey, I'm coming over there for Thanksgiving. I'm bringing hand sanitizers. Um, let's let's try to keep it as safe as possible.
Yeah. And it's not just for you, you know?
I also have kids as well, and I don't want them catching COVID since they're so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we decided, I mean, my son lives not far from where your parents are, I think, but we're not going over there. They're not having anyone there. Normally, he cooks a big Thanksgiving meal for everybody and for his girlfriend's family and us. And this year, they're just gonna, be at home. They're not gonna do any of that. In fact, he has not been inside any building except for the library and his house since all of that started. Yeah, he's very, very careful. His girlfriend that lives with him can't say the same because she's a nurse and she's a respiratory nurse. And so she's been, you know, going to work and working with patients at the hospital.
Hmm.
And yeah, they're very, very careful. And in fact, when I came over to see you, he was a little unhappy with me for going and like somewhere besides the doctor. you know, I mean, I have a
I
full time job,
understand.
work from home. I work from home, but literally,
Mhm.
the only places I've been to since this all started are my car,
Okay.
um, two different doctors. One, I only go to the parking lot and they draw my blood, you know.
Mhm.
The other, I go in, but everyone who goes there is like me. They're all immunocompromised. And so they're only the patients are being allowed in and they are checking everybody's temperature and asking them the questions, before they come in. They stop them in the vestibule and do it. And that's it. And to see you guys that one time.
Wow.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I
So
really do appreciate your visit when you came by. I knew that, okay, this visit with you being immunocompromised, I knew that this visit was a big deal. I really wanted you to see my babies, and I really do appreciate you coming by and seeing them. And
I'm so glad that we got to. It was magical.
yeah,
Yeah, it was magical.
it was.
Yeah. So, you know, anyway, so this year is definitely different, but I'm really, really grateful for a bunch of things. I'm so grateful that I have a job, that I'm working. And I have a wonderful boss and great guys that I work with. And I have a marvelous husband who loves me. And um, he's my stars and moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is
Mhm.
the bee's wings. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I have a son who's healthy and strong and that he's pursuing his dream. And, you know, I'm grateful for this home that we live in. And this is not really where I live. you
One
guys
could dream.
you guys probably recognize this background. It's not mine. But I'm super grateful for the home that I live in and the car that we are able to, that gets us to our appointments and that we go pick up groceries in. We do the whole order, order, they bring it out to the car so we don't go in the store. Um, I'm just, we have 4 kitties and they share our home and they share our lives. And, it doesn't sound like a lot, but every moment is precious and I'm grateful for every breath I take. So,
Beautifully said. Well, I'm grateful for a number of things as well. I'm grateful for having employment, being able to pay my bills on time. I'm grateful for being able to work from home. A lot of people who are in servicing positions, they have to go into the office every day. They have to go into maybe a bank or a store, or they have to drive a bus. They have to work in a hospital. So I'm just grateful that I'm able to work from home. I'm able to be with my children while working from home because they are not in daycare with COVID, and with them being born premature, they're considered high risk. So it's better for them to stay home, at least for the first year, or at least until a vaccine has been created.
how many do you have?
What was that?
How many children do you have?
Oh, I have 3 beautiful children, all, let's see, 10 months. So triplets. Yes, 2 girls, 1 boy.
They are beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful for my manager. She's super understanding. She gives me all the time that I need throughout the day. If I need to take a break to tend to my children, I'm just grateful for just a lot of things. But my family, my health, my children's health, and I'm just grateful to be alive.
I gotta say something too, is a shout out to all of the medical professionals that are out there taking care of people. And and I think both of us can probably agree that we're grateful for the work that you guys are doing. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking care of these people who are going through sometimes the toughest battle of their life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, we have a lot more to talk about, but we're not going to talk about that today. So we just wanted to introduce ourselves and wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And if you've lost someone dear to you, know that you're not alone. And remember that every breath is precious, every moment is precious. And we're glad we got to share these moments with you.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Peace.